Well, hello there, fellas. We are back, ESA Season X, and we are so back. When I say this, I'm so happy to be back in this season as well. My name is still Mighty, and I'm joined by Trav.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome on in. Welcome to what is hopefully going to be a banger game. In my case, I'm really hoping this one. We're going to go a little bit of a mile. We were tempted, so close to hitting overtime and possibly free maps last night. Unfortunately, wasn't quite the case. So, as we're on the topic of the other maps, let's take a look at the bracket overall, see where we're currently standing in things here in ESA Season X. So as you can see here, we've played a couple of games so far. We're currently 3 games in, all 2-0 so far. Molotov Gang dominating really their first match. Very quick, clean 2-0. Ghost Army as well, doing great job. And yesterday's matchup, well, Mighty, do you want to explain a little bit what happened there?
We had another two a run over with a show that I personally have to call it was a complete shit show. Not to be formal with any teams, think some teams definitely did some worse things that they have ever done before. But I have to say in keeping, none of these teams felt themselves in this game. We definitely deserved the three mapper in that matchup. We didn't get it. Sync was a little bit more into the game than Aspire. But if we look at the matters in all the way back from the qualifiers, Team Aspire ranking up third in qualifiers to then go 0-1, no one would have seen that coming. Okay, we had two guys coming in. I didn't know what they were smoking, but they saw it coming. But still, the major part of the production team were definitely well surprised by that matchup happening, since we definitely saw a three mapper, and everyone here, without these two other guys, saw Asper coming up on top there. So it was a huge surprise there. But I would say, let's stick back to this matchup that we will have today, especially because we're still in the same organization as Aspire. And if I'm saying we're in the same organization, we are still in Mystic Gaming. And Mystic Gaming does not only have one team that will compete today, they will have two. So it's an org internal battle. Once again, we had three of them in season. We're already looking into having the next one. And when we have these two teams, both from MG, we will have a look into the predictions, as we mentioned them before. And we see myself, Ogon, Delta, Otnox, Nanos, Boosmax, everyone that was voted, except from Goatnax, went with the Minions, the OG team, the first team MG has ever had in their rosters. And only one, that was Goatnax, that went in the hands of Akatsuki, screaming that we will see a match that could go definitely in the ways of minions, but we have a believer that says, okay, Akatsuki will have their piece of the cake, and who knows? Maybe we'll see the next setup all the way back
Yeah.
from yesterday, all the way into today's match. But let's keep a face, let's keep it straight and say we are definitely hyped up. And when we talk about two teams that will compete today, we are still in the best of three matter. And when I say best of three matter, we have three potential maps that we will see tonight.
Yeah, 100%. 3 potential maps we're going to be seeing here. As you can see the map band come through on your screen here. Lair and Skyscraper being the first two that are going to be picked into here. And these are actually going to be the first time these have been played in the Swiss stage here in Season X. All maps bar Clubhouse have been played now with these two. We'll be guaranteed to be seeing these first two maps. Minions picking on towards Lair. They're going to be starting that one on the attack with Akatsuki opting start there on the defense.
And in general, if we take a look at these map bands, layer for team pick of minions, very much understandable. They have a quota speaking minions. On the same matter, Team Akatsuki picking Skyscraper, a map that screams Skyscraper. Even though they played it 4 times and only winning 2 of those, they were extremely well prepped in all of the attacks. And we know for a fact attacking on Skyscraper isn't always that easy, especially not taking points all these attacking rounds. And we know for a fact that Akatsuki is one of the teams that have managed to take the most wins in attack rounds on Skyscraper than none ever team has done before. So it's a very well map that they're prepped for, even though they only have a 50% win rate. But if we look on the potential decider, Knife Haven, it's a very interesting map. It's a map where minions have shown themselves quite often, and they have experience that they can win out this match out of any given scenario. They have Night Haven Labs played it 23 times, winning 14 out of them. I mean, they have a 61% win rate, so it's very well known for these teams, and they can win it out in every given scenario. Meanwhile, Akatsuki has not any records on this map, so it's a new take from them on Night Haven. So I'm especially happy to see, if we shall go through the decider, what the team of Akatsuki will bring on Night Haven, since we have never seen anything recorded from them before.
100%. I mean, as you say, Nighthaven Labs, that is very much the unknown. That's the exciting map for me. Do like quite myself a little bit of Lair, but I want to look towards that third map and go, right, we won one, we need to settle it on Nighthaven Labs. Really, in my mind, it's anyone's game as we get to that map. As you said, Akatsuki really haven't played it before. They just haven't. So it's a complete unknown. And really anything can happen when we get to that third map. And obviously you want to be starting Swiss so well. So well, before we can get to that third map, we've got to get into map number 1, which of course is going to be Lair. Team Minions, they're going to be starting themselves on the attack. Akatsuki going to be on the defense, and hopefully the start of what is going to be an amazing barn burner of a best of 3 here in ESA season number X.
And with that said and done, we will head straight into the ban phase and see what the teams will put out on the table, saying, nah, we're not dealing with those. These operators are too strong, or they are too picky to play against the first ban. Of course, going from the hands of Akatsuki, as they will begin a defense on the map pick of Team Minions. So the Blackbeard off the board. Yeah, I don't think we have to speak much of a Blackbeard, do we, Trev?
Not in the slightest. He's been banned so far in the ESA Season X. He's been banned 55% of matches here in Swiss Save. So pretty much every match so far, he has seen a ban on at least a map. Teams do not want to play against him. Teams don't want to deal with how oppressive that shield and rifle combo is at the minute. Such a strong operator, really decisive on these attacks. Dokubi coming through for our second attacking ban.
So Doki be out a second attacking ban, quite understandable. Well, as she's an operator, deploying a lot of disturbance to the team and also forcing them to move around. Because if you don't move around and the phone is ringing, you know for a fact the attackers know the attackers know where the fighters are positioned at. And it's not an easy roam game either. If you wanted to take a flank, if a Dokubi call comes through. Then we have the vigil, very much understandable. The weapon combo still. Boshi a little bit nerfed, still a little bit too strong in my management. And then we have the SMG-12, so we don't have to talk about Vigil, a very hard operator to deal with, and an operator that definitely screams and says, I will mess your attacks up. And then we have the Clash. Clash is a more likely classic ban on maps like Lair. Lair, a map where you have a lot of hallways, a lot of tight entryways, where you have to go through it and then to cover back or forwards to the side. So then, if you have a Clash minding her business straight in front of you in the hallways, you have nowhere to pass on through on her. So an operator that will bring a lot of disturbance to the attack process. So also that, I would say, are 4 very well concluded bans. So let's have a look at the first defense line upstairs here in the Xenon office. So we have a lineup from Castle, Valkyrie, Mute, Bandit, and Doc. So I would say that's a very classic operator line. I'm a little bit convinced that we don't see a mirror since we on this top watch but have a lot of walls that you potentially will see a mirror.
10 seconds to go.
Yeah, normally, as you say, you would see a mirror up towards the objective, but again, I think it's that Doc pick that's sort of the wild card into this one there. You can see the bottom right of your screen, of course, incredible fragging power on the Doc, that MP5 with that ACOG. I'm sure it's infamous in this game. Everyone knows that combination, both on the receiving end and using it yourself. Such a strong weapon. You've got the stims to heal yourself back up, so if you are in any engagements, you take a little damage, reset yourself, and then you're ready for the next one. And obviously, with Bailiff, it was introduced a little while ago now, but it just adds a bit more utility to that Doc pick, and yeah, should be a really strong fragging power in this round for the side of Akatsuki.
Should be. But if we take a look at the operator lineup brought by the attackers now, we have a very quick approach here by the Gridlock, also followed by Alex Norby. Moving forwards here with another Monty play. Alex, another huge player, not well known in the ESA scene, as he has multiple times been competing in this tournament. Also showed himself that he is very much capable of not only playing shields, but his shield games are horrendous to play against, as he will make his way upon you and then make you feel very uncomfortable in any given position. But the first pick is not going to be his. It is being Banku's, as he's forcing out David as the first opener of this tonight's matchup.
There we go. Got a feeling the next pick going to be coming through on towards this mute very soon. That seems to be the focus here of the mute. Try and flush this mute out of position. You saw the drone coming, but it's actually going to be the gridlock taken down, I believe, by some sort of explosive. Down but not out, so should be recoverable there from the side of minions. But with this Montaigne staring in the face of Akatsuki, very difficult press here. Trying to get the one tap off, unable to find any success in doing so. Taking a lot of damage in the process. No choice here, but really towards the fallback. Gridlock is recovered though, so still a 4 versus 5 for the minions. It's definitely a recoverable position. Still got a minute 20 on the round. Plenty of time. Try and make things happen. And here's that dock I was talking about earlier in this round, starting to head towards the front line now, starting to play quite an active role in this round and making sure this attack can't get too much more control, pushing towards site. Frag grenade is going to go in. It's not quite going to be able to find anything. That was actually a flashbang. Do ignore me. And yeah, the pressure on this move, it is building up. He's going to go for the cross of the doorway. Actually gets away with his life. Only on a sliver of HP though. Forced into the corner by the Rotero drone. Isn't actually going to go down by it and can just continue to hold this position. Elsewhere though, it's made a 4 versus 4. Interlude finds a pick onto Nexo. Things are even, but Akatsuki, they're quickly falling apart. 4 versus 3. 2 quick picks for the minions now. They're pushing closer and closer towards the site. Spearheaded by the Monte there. Alex Norby really doing great numbers on that and applying the pressure towards the defensive side. Coming in now. See here, next up is going to be this castle. A lot of pressure on him. 30 seconds left on clock. C4's going to go out. It's not going to do any damage. Not going to hit its mark. Here comes, drops the shield. Going to be just continuing to apply that pressure. Time though is ticking away for the attacking side here. They have to get in, they have to do something. Drop down below, possibly an attempt at flank, but that just leaves 2 defenders on site, and the attacking team, they've perfectly read into that. But look at that, the dock is coming alive, coming to work, makes things a 3 versus 3, and this flank, this could be the round saving play here from the side of Akatsuki. It may just well be do so, exactly that, and suddenly it's a collapse. Minions fall apart, and well, the defense, they get themselves quite a comfortable first round here on Lair.
They get themselves a very comfortable round, and I have to say the crushing point out of this round was truly the drop down below from the given play of Bankus. As Bankus is putting on a very crucial flanker that is completely out of the heads and also out of sight from the team of minions. They completely don't have any clues this is happening, and it's putting not only pressure on them on the side, but also gain themselves to backsteps against their favor. And Akatsuki definitely turned around the round by that move, especially because you saw that Akatsuki was collapsing a little bit inside the site itself. They were trying to force a little bit onto the Monty, as Monty was putting a lot of pressure on them, being that living fortress, being that alive drone, giving live intel for his teammates. But then when you finally had the push onto site, you did lose the sight of the drop. The drop happened, the flank happened, crushed back on you. That way, the round did not collapse finally for Akatsuki, but it then collapsed in the scheme of minions build-up. And the build-up, you know for a fact, if a build-up collapses by the attackers are over and done. And that way, we have a concluded round with a lead of Akatsuki with 1-0.
Yeah, 1-0 as well. Top floor site. It's going to be locked for a couple of rounds. So we're going to head down towards the basement here. Down towards bottom floor site for the defensive team. Fairly standard operator, like what you're used to kind of seeing here from the defense. Nothing too out of the ordinary from a defensive lineup here on basement of Lair. On the defense, on the attack, sorry, though, they're continuing to apply this shield. They really want to play around this Montaigne on the side of minions. Alex Norby picking on towards it yet again. Did do some pretty good effect last round. And obviously the cause of that flank, that castle dropping below, they're going to be answered this time around. Going to be seeing the Nomad being brought out to try and deny any flanking from the defensive team this go around.
And we know for a fact these flanks are crucial, especially on maps that are so fairly new given, like the map of Lair, as we have a lot of hallways, a lot of also very tight hallways, a lot of tight angles. And then you see it as well, once again, you have someone that tries to lure their Monty in deep in the hands of Bankus that also gains himself the first kill. And then you finally have the next one, like in the hands of Ishak, putting on a flank here with a Legion. Maybe trying to lure the Monty from a side kill, or maybe also putting on some damage on him. That didn't quite work in this scheme, but now we have lost one in the name of Shay. We have to see if we can find a refrag in the hand of Akatsuki, as also Alex has been putting on all the pressure and hypes. He finds the next kill onto Inter. That means also Alex Nordy under a lot of pressure, finds his first C4 in his palms. That C4 did hurt him a lot. So we have 2.5 operator against still 5 men standing. Only one low, but David is the first to make it 1 down on the hands of Akatsuki.
Yeah.
But now the C4 from below potentially could do a lot of damage. We were already into the C4 a little bit late, but the C4 still finds his man as David is the one to step in the curtain and see. And Ishak finds the next 2 kills on both Alex and the last man standing by team Minions and makes it a 2-0 for the hands of for Akatsuki.
And Akatsuki playing that round really, really well. It seemed like they were expecting this to draw in from the shield. They wanted the players of the attack to come in behind the shield, and they lured them right into a trap. They got them hook, line, bait, sinker. Got the kill, as you can see here. Beautiful C4 play from underneath, using those black eyes to provide the intel. C4 to confirm the kill. And the attack there just really wasn't able to get started there. It was sort of over before they could really get anywhere in towards the buildings, the minions. And yeah, Akatsuki, they're playing this really, really well so far. Much more dominant showing in round 2 than perhaps in round 1. And great setting themselves up for success here on Lair.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
Every good map begins with a huge upset, and the first upset here is Akatsuki picking up rounds fairly well. Especially this second round was very convincing for them is in their style of defense. When we take a consideration how they played in the first round was very shaky. They had to put on a flank that luckily, I will say the way it is, luckily wasn't discovered earlier by the team of minions, because then they would have prevented their push into the side and maybe have one to hold either then nor the Riddle would have fallen
5
that
seconds left
easy.
before insertion.
Right.
Attackers
Would have put
objective is
Alex
locate
on
a
the
bomb
side
and
where the
defuse
flank
it.
was happened. But flank happened. The next one was very convincing. So either way, Min is still not on the board. They have a lot of work to pick up on. There's nothing lost. They have a lot of rounds still remaining, and of course, Akatsuki is beginning on the easier side on this map. As we know for a fact, fighting on this map is a lot more easier than attacking.
100% so. And really for minions there, they've realised the shield play's been read into now. The way Akatsuki played that previous run was definitely a read into the shield, read around the strategy, and as I said, a bit of a trap for the side of minions. So they're swapping strategies up a little bit this time round. Going to be dropping the shield. Alex Norvey said going on towards the ace. Going to be playing more of that hard breach role instead. Interestingly though, David going towards the nut, which of course indicates a bit of a lurk play might be seen. Of course, Vigil is banned out, so we're not going to be seeing anything of the sort really from the defense. Perhaps trying to sneak past the cameras, but on the attacking side, at least for now, Minion's going to be looking to try and get behind those black eye cameras that have been so prevalent in the past couple of rounds. Get themselves around it.
You're hoping to lure yourself in, but both Bankers and Hypes, you find two to answer. Abrupt. So in the refrag, we also ignore the finding of the first. That one is an important one, not fall away from the early once again. Holding the traction, holding their excitement to process, and maybe also figuring out a way to find another one would be the leading point to make it equal, and the equalization would be the first step into a formal attack. Oh, and the gap was closing on the first, but then they had the closing on the second one. Not feeling so tempted. He should have moved directly into sight and not looked into the door, because there was another play in the name of Inter putting down the face for Ishak.
Ishak, and indeed, so we equalised out 3-3 apiece at the minute on the man count. This is the tertiary bomb site, so as the minions, this is the best chance to try and win a round. But unfortunately, Nexo's going to deny that. Takes out Alex Norvey there with the C4. Twitch standing out of sight. Do they know about the bandit? Stood up on the crates. He's ready to swing, ready to try and find another pick. Don't know if he has quite the intel just yet, or he's just biding his time. Of course, that clock is often referred to as the 6th defender. Akatsuki, they're more than comfortable to wait for minions to try and play into this one. Fuser is currently cold. They do know about the player.
You see his foot.
See the feet. Sees the foot, throws the grenade. And there you go. He gets caught out. Beautiful bit of team play there from minions, equalising things out. 2 apiece. 25 seconds left on the clock. This attack needs to get moving. You've got a player upstairs. You've got a player down towards the site. And Akatsuki, they're going to be holding strong on the objective. Both players on there, playing together. Going to be trying to play around each other. 15-second warning is going to come in, and they've got no choice here for the minions. They've got to push in towards the objective. Try and find these eliminations now. Smokes are going to go. Seems like a defuse attempt might be made, but there is a C4 in pocket on the side of Akatsuki. Maybe able to make this work. Another flank attempt there. Kit's going down. It's likely going to stick. Yes, it is. C4's thrown out. Doesn't find its mark, but it might be too little too late at this point. Gingy now left to clutch up in a 1 versus 2. Diffusers down. He's now got to be the aggressor, and you can see there the outline of the screen. Twitch gone above. He's got a real difficult retake ahead of him here. He's going to swing round. He's going to be able to find the gridlock, and now things are left to 1 versus 1. This vertical play, unfortunately, that C4 has been burnt. You're going to have to win this one on gun skill alone. And, well, for at least for the attacking side, they're going to play the vertical, trying to hide behind the pillar. Does a little bit of damage either way, but it's just a time whittling away here. Beautiful post-plant play. He might just have to force a stick at this point. There's not really much else you can do in this situation here if you are the side of Akatsuki, and surely minions, they're going to be walking away with this round. Yes, they are. Clock's down, and all you might be able to find is an exit pick here. No, you're not. Minions, they walk away with their first attack here on Lair.
And finally, an attack that sticks upon the norm of saying we will only try to find the first approach, then put on more and more pressure onto the side. Finally, find ourselves in a matter where the attack is able to put in the work of entering the building, putting pressure towards the side, then also losing the momentum of having these opening frags dealt against you to then always try out and figure ways out to equalize onto them, push more onto the side, clean out the side, then go for a plant and then have it spotted out on the passive with one on the same linear level as the diffuser was put down, and one on the upper floor having the vertical. Still though, in my opinion, the goal on the linear side, straight on the diffuser, should have heard where the Cade come from. But okay, Inter had his 3-piece, was very important for minions, but still though, the fourth man, the quad kill, should have been his, if his headset would have put one on the right way. Okay, jokes aside, very well put together round by minions. I hope they can stick more rounds towards this map now for this first half, as they would need at least 2, but they should have 3 in my opinion to be the steady team that they surely are from the stats reading.
100%. So, I mean, this top floor site was played in round number 1. It was, of the 2 sites that minions did lose, it was the closer of the 2. Akatsuki only able to get it over the line off of quite a daring and, dare I say, sort of risky flank play. So, definitely closer, definitely a good opportunity for minions to try and get the primary bomb site across the line. They're going to be trying the Montaigne strategy again, a bit slower than it was before. I don't think going to be going in with quite as much aggression. But the pressure that they can apply to the defense is definitely going to be sort of the win condition and the goal here from their attack. Akatsuki's lineup is somewhat similar to what before. A few operator lineup changes, mainly so that mirror pick, as we sort of discussed in round number 1. That's going to be coming in now, and got a feeling it's going to have a bit of an effect on this round.
So let's see if the Monty repick is the way to go. I will have to say I doubt it a little bit, but it also might work out if we have an approach that fits more. But the first kill once again is in the hands of Akatsuki. The player of Vanquish once again of the hands of Dano. He is now figuring out himself, and he's definitely having his ways against the team of minions. His minions is still in trouble, clearing him out, as this is the 4th time that he's opening up this match.
100%. So it is answered that back though. Banquez is he's finally going to fall. Going to go down as things are 4 versus 4, a bit more equal. And now here really comes the pressure towards Ishak here in this kind of storage position, just trying to hide, play it close with the mute shotgun. It's supported by the teammate, fallback is facilitated, and they're going to be now using this mirror window to hold down the position. That's where the mirror is going to be really coming into play this round. Trying to deny position. C4 is going to go, but it's not going to be needed. Quicker to the kill there on the Jaeger. Going to keep the man advantage going in the way of Akatsuki. And look at this, a mid-round reinforcement, bit of a daring one. But no, it's caught out by the pistol through the open mirror window. It is immediately traded back though. 2 versus 3 now. Minions, man disadvantage. Minute left to try and make this one work. Into down below. Shire on the top floor. Trying to push horizontally, make this one work. But the user is cold. Needs to be recovered here in the final 50 seconds of the round.
So Hypesy is finding himself the triple, and the triple is huge, and it's only Inter that had his triple last round. Is he able to figure out another triple kill to make himself historical, make himself legendary for the team of Suki to make it a 2-on-2, an equal scoreline would be the perfect continuing from the first they put on the board with 20 seconds left remaining and 3 guys still upstanding in the hands of Akatsuki. I won't think that will be a possibility.
Not at all. You know, 15 seconds left on the clock. Position here of Inter is known. It's really looking unlikely as the clock dials down. All you can really do here is look to go for an exit frag there. But there's a player on the floor. Hypes, he wants the quad, is going to be able to find it. And Akatsuki taking themselves yet another strong round on the top floor objective. Likely, if things follow where they were before, they're going to be heading back down towards the basement for their secondary bomb site. Going to give that one another shot. It went completely in their favour last time. Minions were really unable to even get anywhere near the basement. It was all towards the top floor action. And here, this mid-round reinforcement, I mean, it's a really, really ballsy play to make. whether it was just a bit of a forgetfulness in the moment that the mirror window had been opened and you're going to be able to get caught out by it. Really great, some quick, great thinking there from Norvi to be able to whip the pistol out, take the player down as they're going for that mid-round reinforce. Because as you say, you're doing that, you've got
Attackers need to
nothing
locate and
protecting you.
defuse
You're a
bombs.
very easy pick. And here we are. Basement defense, fairly similar lineup to what we saw before, but going to be swapping the Legion out for a cap can this time around.
Also, I don't think we trade all is
100%. So, as you say, head into round number 3 here. Bit of swap aroundsies on the operator lineup here coming through for the minions. Going to be opting to go for a double shield lineup this time around. Both Blitz and Monty, 2 remaining shield operators who are in the game. They're going to be sticking it through all the way through into this round. Nook as well. Ash, bit of a different operator lineup here coming from the minions. As I said, this site went totally wrong for them last time. Unable to get anywhere near the basement. So they really need to try and make some things work here. They need flip things around, give it a different go. Slightly the last time this site we played this half, so why not give something different to go? Of course, we'll have to wait and see how things will fare for the defense. Well, it's fairly, to say, fairly standard to what was played before. They have 2 players upstairs on the floor trying to contest. We might see Anthony Norvi here. Well, Anthony Norvi is here pushing into warehouse, taking a little bit of damage, a lot of pressure being applied. You can see there the outline, David behind, wanting to make a play here. Want to try and get it. Hypesy taking a lot of damage early on into this round here. 50 HP. Impact grenades going to come out. Maybe able to get Anthony Norvi down. Yes, they will. The Montaigne is down first off the board. David does trade it back, but we're 4 versus 4. One of your 2 shields is down. And we're 2 minutes into the round.
okay. I would pretty much say to take the given case of that what I was trying to mention on earlier. Akatsuki is trying to do takes to clear out these shield players, as they know that Norvi is a weapon if he's to be played freely and gets into first team. And once again, they're putting on a lot of pressure, clearing him out first to have their ways with him. And now once again, you have one to try and force some aggression onto the shield to have one guy helping you out. Inter's able to find hype, see, but Bankers is another one to figure out the next skill. Inter on the next skill, putting also Ishik into his early grave in this round. Now he's only below half of his HP, is still on the blitz though. Now we have to figure out a way where you can maybe spot out and split these 2 Akatsuki players from each other to try and win out this round for yourself. But as I see, we're grouping up. We're not leaving our teammate behind, and that way we will have another C4 thrown in to the feet of a blitz. And if a C4 hits blitz on its feet, it will also sweep him off them. That means yet again another round for Akatsuki with a 4-1 lead. We're definitely in the solid book looking for the team of Akatsuki, as they're definitely doing the things they're needed to do for this round to work in their favor. I would say they have not won on every round that they should probably win. Now, I mean, it's definitely in for a take of saying we need to get another point. Look, Doc.
100%. So, as you say with the shields, it's almost that role reversal. It's normally the shields being the ones to apply that pressure. This time round, though, it's the defenders of Akatsuki really getting in the faces of the shields, denying them before they can get anything. Last time this objective was played, Minions opted away from the shields. Seems like operator lineup, they're going to, unless they do a sick pick, they're going to be sticking towards that again, moving away from the shields. It did work for them last time. Bunk's briefing was played, so they're going to be giving it another shot. Operator lineup for Akatsuki, somewhat similar to what we saw from them before. Sentry being brought out for the first time this game, bringing the observation blockers, interestingly enough. One that we don't really see brought too often as C4 as well, obviously. 4 of them on the lineup of Akatsuki.
10 seconds left before insertion.
Very interesting in general, but I still have to say, I'm happy that Norvi and both Inters completely swapped away from the shields. I will also say I'm a little bit surprised that they still put up shields in round number 5, as they have seen. We have put up Monty a shield for 3 rounds straight, and they haven't gotten anything from it. The only round that they won out was the round where they didn't have a Monty to begin with.
Bomb located by attackers.
100%
So keep in the mention that we know for a fact we win out a round without any shields, and our first attempt is we're putting back the Monty, see if it works. Monty doesn't work all the way again, so then we are swapping in on having 2 shields. Like, I know for a fact Minions is a well-known team and they know how to play Siege, But that take is among the most wildest I have seen in a while, because you know for a fact that shields are not working out for you and you're still eager to take them.
So eager to take them, and we'll see exactly so. Shields not brought on this round. Instead, having the 2 guns, Anthony Northey with an AK-12 in his hand this time. He's able to make it work. Currently a 5. Well, effectively a 3 versus 3 now for the side. David has been downed on the Nook, and sort of that solo position the Nook plays, they're on their own. It's going to be a very difficult one to recover. Doesn't look like that's going to be the case as the drone comes in, but no. The confirmed from Ishak is denied. It's a 4 versus 2 now. Nook should be recoverable. And Minions, they've still got plenty of time in this round. Minute 40 left to work with here. And they should be able to convert this one into a victory, hopefully. For their sake, Nexo and Hype say all that are left on the side of Akatsuki. And they've still got half the round to play for. Still got to try and get things working here. Player in either objective, but 2 guns on the side of Akatsuki. I'm looking towards their Hype. He's currently 9 and 3. Best performing player in the lobby as things stand at the minute. And he's going to have to make some more magic happen if he's going to want to be getting this one. Pressured by the ESA shield. Pressured by the ESA shield. Player supporting it. Cautious as well of the flank as the shields continue to get in his face here. And this one, bit of a dance around. Looking a bit scrappy, but a minute left on the clock. I don't know about this one.
In general, I'm a little bit speechless, as the breach that was presented by Team Minute was amongst the most perfect I've seen in a while to gain yourself a very huge double opening frag. But the way that Akatsuki refragged that with a free kill on the door, you have you punch up the main door in main lobby. You have clear sight on the staircase. There's a guy coming down the stairs, standing straight in front of your face. You're not doing anything. You're saying, okay, please, halfway hip fire my HP down, then give me a headshot and clear me out of the round. Then the next one is on the very far end with an SMG holding a wide angle. Does not make any sense. Minions, for the love of God, thank you for winning out that round because you need it. But please rethink your positions. Why do you have a guy close on a door with an AR for close range gunfights, and you have one guy who hold a very long angle all the way deep onto basement stairs with the Nuck SMG?
Yeah, definitely some questionable choices being made in the last round, but matters, I suppose not. They got the round over the line. Sights are going to be flipping round now. And I think for a positive so far, the 2 rounds Minions have won. They've not bought shields on either of them. And I think good news for their sake, they can't bring a shield. The one defensive shield operator, Clash, she's banned out of this game. So they're going to, all 5 players are going to be bringing some form of primary weapon, whether that's going to be assault rifle, shotgun, DMR, whichever, SMG, however they want to play it. They're going to be bringing one of those, going to be getting those guns firing up. Operator lineup for Minions here. They're going to be bringing the Aruni. First time going to be seeing her brought along this game. Of course, with that DMR for that really sort of long range capabilities, and Anthony Northey as well, also on the 2-barrel with that DMR. Operator line for Akatsuki. They're not going to be trying out the Montaigne, but they will be bringing the Blitz, something we've seen once so far this game.
I would just pretty much it. Let's see what the second half has in storage for us. As we know for a fact, it is Minions map pick, so they would have a lot of strats going in this map to say, okay, we can win out attacks that we need to win out, and then we definitely need to win out these defenses to come back in this game. But that kill is definitely a huge answer. Double out round, and still you figure out a way of not only frag in, but also frag out Ishak to gain yourself the first opening pick on the mirror, on roam, recovering back on site. That's ballsy play. That's very much ballsy play. But as I mentioned, Mirror now brought into this game, and we have these standard Mirror rounders that we know for a fact. And the next gain of kill is not granted by the Mirror, but it's in help by a Mirror window onto that 2-barrel with the DMR. And we know for a fact if a 2-barrel on a DMR is being brought, it will make a lot of damage.
Exactly. So, I mean, I'm looking towards the operators that have been lost. You've lost the Ace, you've lost your hard breach, and you've lost your gridlock, which is going to be your flank watch, primarily so for this round. So not only are you playing a massive man disadvantage, now you can see it, the players swarming around Ginger here on the blitz. There's 3 of them, 4 of them staring in his face. Surely a dead man. C4 is going to go in, and does a lot of damage, and there you go. The kill is confirmed by Inter, and well hyped. All that's left standing with it all to do. I just don't see a way he works his way out of this one. No, it's going to be a flawless for the Minions. A truly, truly dominant round. The first flawless we have seen so far all game. And I think I've looked a little bit bleak at points on the attack.
I will just kick in a random comment now. we casters are always getting blamed for us caster cursing anything. No one of us two mentioned anything negative or positive about these teams, saying, okay, these will lose out anything. But we have a guy all the way back in production saying, okay, Akatsuki are making things right to save my vote in prediction calls to make it even in prediction votes. Intensely, as we have the 40 roll swap, we go in the first defense round of minions, and Minions is pushing on a flawless run against Akatsuki. So if he is saying Akatsuki is doing masterclass play to save my prediction vote, and this happens, I think that's the most caster curse I've ever seen without a caster doing it.
Yeah, production curse. We coin that term, production curse, production
Yeah.
curse, board curse. So
But-
either
but in-
way,
But in general, it definitely aged like milk.
definitely aged like milk a little bit, that one. Unfortunately, Minions with arguably the most dominant round. Well, it's the only flawless we've had all match so far. The most dominant round, I'd definitely say.
5 seconds left before insertion.
Sure. We will. Sure. Not my fault.
Like in
Attackers are
general,
moving out
we
to
have a
locate a bomb and defuse it.
still very still strong. Some aggression onto them, especially with the explosive legacy for that she will pop out a little bit, and if you then throw in a lot of like 3 guys pushing out, it will definitely break it up. That was the most impulsive. You know, first straight out from the body, then you push it and gain yourself that kill, and that kill was so big and so huge for them. And the Flawless is definitely bringing out a lot of mentality going back into this matchup, as they know for a fact we need some pushes, we need some mentality in this matchup to not only gain our access back, making it equal, but then also take back the lead and say we have this map vote in this map pick for a reason, and we will showcase why it is the way it is.
Exactly. So, I mean, you look at sort of how things have been so far. Whenever the shields have been brought, they've not really worked out for the attacks so far. No attacking rounds where shields have been bought have been won yet. So, Akatsuki perhaps come in being a bit aware of that trend. They are bringing a shieldless lineup, unless I haven't seen the Fuse yet. Does the Fuse have a shield on him? Or is he bringing an assault rifle? I'm not entirely sure just yet. We'll have to wait for him to get off the drone and flip out. But either way, less focus on the shields here from Akatsuki. Instead, going for a more gun-heavy lineup. No, AK-12 being brought, so no shields being brought this time around. Border side of the attack, which so far has been a positive thing this match. Akatsuki really reading into the shields, just haven't been working, and a bit more flexibility, I say, to sort of swap off of it, this one, for their attempt on the base bomb site. We're halfway through the round now, and there you go. First picks only just happened through. B-Shaq getting a pick onto David, though. Hypesy is going to fall, but there you go. Bankers immediately trades it back there. Alex Norvey is going to fall. And the defense, they keep things evil, 3 versus 3. And I've got a feeling this might be the call where the call's made to fall back towards the objective. But, see there, Shire above. Oh, was on the top floor, now heading down slowly. Getting their way down to the bottom side. 55 seconds left on the clock in the defense. Starting to think about worrying about next few, but no, they're all coming back upstairs. They want to keep aggressing onto this one. But unfortunately, it's punished.
And yet again, Nexa finds himself the next kill. He had a lot of long wait time for it, as he was 1-6. Now he's 2-6, making it a 3-0-3-3 KD. He is definitely trying to ramp it up a little bit, not fall back slacking. But we have to see where the first next twin comes in, and he is blindsided. No, he's not blindsided, as Shinji is walking into the trap. Makes it a triple kill for Jackie. Jackie definitely is in the matters of saying he will have the grounds right for his team. And Inter is killed by Naxo. Why did you go your canister? And now we have the last kill coming in, as he's getting the full LMG rampage. And he's trying to regain his access back on site. So Akatsuki will put on yet another round on their scoreline, making it a 2-round lead. And that way we have a 5-3 scoreline. And I have to say, we're definitely looking into if the defense gains an opening pick and the attackers are not able to refrag it instantly on an instant basis, you have the defenders operating in a good running matter. But as soon as Akatsuki, or versus the attacking team, is not falling off and pushing on these refrags, makes it and holds it on an even base, they will always have a good chance of quality to gain their access onto site and then also win out these rounds. That's the importance of this matchup. If the defense puts on a lot of pressure on you, you and the attack either way have to see if you can put some pressure back and also gain back these refrags. As soon as you're not taking these refrags and taking these engagements to gain some refrags, you fall off and you will definitely put yourself in a very tight and bad spot to gain these round wins. As more defenders are still remain onto the final push, tending onto the side, the harder it will get for you to get a clean and smooth right onto the side for the final approach.
Exactly. So much of this action has been dictated by these really aggressive plays by the defenders and shit. You got to trade them out. You got to get the refrag, because if you don't, you give them an inch, they're going to take the whole mile. They'll take the whole round with you. It's critical here that these roams are punished. They're shut down quickly here. Akatsuki going to be going with, yet again, another full weapon lineup. No shields to be seen in round number 3 as the basement objective is going to be reattempted by minions. They've got a feeling they could salvage that one. Give it another shot as we head towards round number 9. But Akatsuki, they're 1 round away from a map point. And they're looking quite good, I'd say. Dare I say, that previous, our first attacking round where it was that flawless, looking a bit better in that round. And they're going to be looking to take this basement a second time around. Here we go.
Oh, watch your back, Pick, or you will get fragged out. But Inter is there to move away smoothly, not be dealt any more damage. But is he able to find one himself is the big question. No, not on this matter, not in this time zone for this one.
Not just yet, but still looking to get aggressive here, and that's the thing. I think really keeping the attackers at bay right now is this aggression from the defenders. They're trying to force them out of position with the cluster charges from the fuse. Really trying to shake them around, make sure they can't hold the positions they want to. As you can see, the drones really coming in here. All the side of Akatsuki trying to hunt the players down as the couple will drop down, but also a couple remain on this first floor. Inter being one of them who's able to find a pick on towards next, so make it a second one as well. There is one traded back towards Jackie, but 4 versus 3. Man advantage is still going the way of minions. There's shots coming down from the vertical, from below, but you still got defenders to try and clear on this first floor. Inter still running rampant. Double on the round so far. Looking to make it a little bit more in that. Hit double digits in the lobby. Second player now to do so. On 10 and 6 currently. Minute 10 left in the round. Shinji, cautious. Wants to play this vertical. Wants to try and support a team in this push down below towards the objective. But they can't, because they know they've still got that player upstairs. They've still got that unknown. They've still got that X factor. Inter. Vector ACOG. Phenomenal weapon. And you can seriously do some damage with that one. As you can see here, Shinji will be heading back down towards the basement now. Heading down, and the site push directly coming through might just be what happens. Shire's going to fall. 3 versus 3, 45-second mark.
So for the guys not knowing, both the teams are still in the same organization. Both have competed in the qualifiers to gain their spot on. In this matchup, we have place number 4 from the qualifiers players against the team that placed 13th. And right at this point, we still have the next upset in the league in the first round, as the team of the place of 13th, the third last team that gained access to the league, is currently not only in the lead, but then now pressurizes Team Minions with the first opportunity to close out map number 1 in a best matter of moments with the first attempt on a match point here for Lair.
And it's not even the fact that they're just closing out Lair. It's their opponent's map pick that they're stealing from them. Minions picked onto Lair. This was the one that they wanted to go to, and currently it's Akatsuki. They're the ones that find themselves 1 round away. Just one of the next 3 goes the way of the attack, goes the way of Akatsuki, and they've got this map in the bag. They've got a 1-0 lead. And I would say they're looking pretty comfortable going into the rest of the series here. So I think it's the right moment, right call to make the timeout. You've lost 2 defenses in a row. You do have that top floor site available to you, which was a flawless the last time Minions played it. But I think the question really becomes then, even if they do win this top floor site, what comes after them? Because I'd say it's been 2 fairly convincing rounds for the attacking side. What mistakes have Minions been making? They need to find out those mistakes and then find a way to correct them before we head to get themselves into overtime before their own map pick slips away from them. An end.
And I would say, let's take a moment and have a deep breath and seeing what Minions maybe have talked about on this little pause, the little interaction that they had now with the little tactical pause, the little tactical timeout that we're not often seeing in console, but it's getting more and more implemented by the teams. It's a very good sight and a very good matter of things to do, especially when you see you're falling off, you're slacking off, you're not feeling yourself, you're not finding any points to put more pressure on to feel a little bit safer on the spot. But now we're definitely having the pressure against minions. Minions are definitely with their backs against the wall, so they have to figure out ways to make Akatsuki feel uncomfortable in their attack approaches. And I would have to say it yet again another time, the most important thing here is for minions to earn themselves an opening frag and looking for a closing down to not get re-fragged again. As soon as Akatsuki is in a position to always refrag you and always have a solution against your playstyle and also against your team positions, you definitely will have a hard time. But facing it, we're back on the side that Team Akatsuki lost in a flawless matter. They will have evolved, they will have adapted a little bit on the previous round that they played on this side. But still, though, Akatsuki should not normally, after stats, win out this round.
100% show. We'll have to see how things fare. Of course, I believe anything really can happen. As you say, we're looking for minions. They need to get it. They need to get the opening pick. Get it across the line. Get it away. Get it done. Get it across the line. And then, more importantly, don't let Akatsuki take anything from that. It seems to get a bit messy after that opening pick comes through, as the players sort of opt to fall back a little bit more, perhaps after the opening pick. And you can see here, a bit of early aggression there from Anthony North, Alex Norvey, and David as well. Looking around, just waiting here. 2 minutes left on the clock, so still plenty of time. Toxic Babes are being burnt quite early on in this round, though, trying to keep those players out of operations. You can see here, there. Ishak below on the gridlock, playing those vertical angles that were so finally opened up for them by the defense. And again, more and more Toxic Babes just being burnt, and oh no, life lost early there for minions. Opening pick does not go their way. Interdo is able to trade one back onto Ishak, but does take a lot of damage in the process. It's 4 versus 4 halfway through the round, and well, still got your shield on board, which is a good sign for the attack and for the defense. Still got decent amount of utility in pocket. Still got 2 C4s, which definitely come into factor perhaps as this round goes on, as you can just hear the hard breach starting to make work through. No, Jackie is able to get a very crucial pick back towards the attack. Takes down the Flores. 4 versus 3 now. Minute 15 left on the clock as the attackers, they're starting to eye up how they want to get into this objective, and it's going to be a difficult one to do so. They're in the man disadvantage right now. It'll be very difficult for them to get over that line, getting towards the objective. The Montaigne making a long rotate from outside the building, leaving just Nexo and Hypesy left inside the building. Selma's going to go, but I believe it's going to be Bandit tricked off, stopped by the mute jammer, taken out by the Bandit, and I believe that is all the hard breach now gone for the attacking team. And with it as well, the Montaigne is going to fall. This one, minions, they've got this top floor site under lockdown, but Hypesy might have something to say about it. Does they get a nice pick on towards Shire, and this is where minions can't be overextending, can't be throwing it away. Throws a C4 out, isn't quite able to find its mark. 35 seconds left on the clock in the attack. They're going to be hard pressed to get this one over the line.
They will have a hard time, but now Jack is fragged down and they still have 20 seconds on the board to do so for the final push. I know that made it an equal will make it even harder to push on, and now it's only a turnaround will happen. We know for a fact he's on the prone.
No.
David on the first, Hypesy on the second, and against Enter, and now it's David against Hypesy. David has the better position. He is roaming and falling off. Hypesy has to swing in, goes for the kill, has an opportunity, no visual on him. That way, it was a lot closer than it was necessary. And minions, I have to say it this time, you need to watch out that you're not over peaking, that you're not doing unnecessary crucial interactions against Akatsuki, as they are known to be fast on the trigger, very mechanically skilled. And you saw it, you had a 4-2 out of no probable cause, with a good opportunity for your sake to make it a 2-2, to then also make it to a 2-1, where you had the lower hand, where your opponent had the better opportunity to close the round down. That is a thing that in crucial nets that is not supposed and not allowed to happen to you, especially not when you're in a match point matter against yourself. When you have a good opportunity like a 4-2, where you have the upper hand yourself in a match point against you, you play it calm, you play it safe, and lock down positions the way, and also have multiple crosshairs on the same spot to have these cross angles to help each other out. Not over peaking, over swinging it like you did. That's a one point that means definitely have to have a perspective on. Let's say we have to calm down a little bit, because if they continue over swinging and also being over aggressive in very many given scenarios, like this scenario that we just saw, they will definitely lose out this map.
100%. So you can't give away anything here. Akatsuki, that round was closer for them than I think it had any right being. That round should have been a lot more one-sided towards the minions. They did get it over the line in the end, but it's just a bit closer than maybe perhaps it should have been. They can't keep over swinging it because I think as they head towards the less favourable bomb sites, of course, as you win, you will be locked out of the bomb sites for the remainder of this half. So they're going to have to head to what they feel are the less favourable objectives. As that happens, you can't be giving that away because you're going to be, predominantly you'll be slightly weaker on the defense when you're not playing a favourable objective. And if you're over swinging things, if you're losing man and losing men when you don't really need to be, that is going to cost you rounds. And as we said, one slip up here from minions and this map is done and dusted for them. Akatsuki, they've got map point. They just need to win one of the next two, and they've got Lair over the line.
And it pretty much is, as you mentioned, it is only a few more pushes before Akatsuki can close this map down for good and make it theirs. Now we have a one standing very close, and if that little window, that little OSA shield would have been put down earlier, we would have Jackie down and dealt with for this matchup. Well, that wasn't the case, but I would still have to say that the approach is a little bit slower for Akatsuki. But they're putting on pressure. Hypes is finding the first opening frag, and it's not looking well for minions.
Not at all, no. Akatsuki, they are playing a little bit slower, but in doing so, they're being thorough. They're making sure no one's able to get behind, get a flank going off, and they're making sure that when they are taking these fights with the defenders, they're normally isolated, and minions, for a lot of these situations beyond the first pick, they're really finding it difficult to make the trade back. You see here, they lost the opening pick a couple seconds ago now, and they've not really been able to trade it back to a mount and level things out of 4 versus 4. Yeah, as you can see, the remaining defenders, they're really having a lot of pressure applied on the top floor. And if minions want to keep their chance alive on lead, they need to get out of it. But the attackers, they're going to be circling around them, really restricting the ways, really either going to catch them on the top floor or force them to make that drop down to the objective. But it is that time. Akatsuki, they are moving slightly slower. 50 seconds left on the clock, and while the pressure on the defenders is certainly being applied, minions, they're not giving away anything, and just as I say that, cast a curse it. Unfortunately, 2 more defenders are going to fall. It's 5 versus 2 now. Akatsuki, they're surely able to get over this one. Shire's going to fall. It's all down to David. Triple for Hypesy. And well, this one, 30 seconds. This one might be done. Does have the intel on the player upstairs, but Kit's going down. Time is trickling away here for David to get something going. And now Kit's down. 45 seconds now stand between Akatsuki and getting Lair over the line. David, he finds the first onto Nexo, but it's going to have to be one hell of a miracle if they want to get this round. And minions want to keep their dreams alive here on Lair. Going to drop down, going to be seeing the play, but no, going to be shut down by Shinzi. And there you go, Akatsuki. They get Lair in pretty comfortable fashion as we head in towards map number 2.
So, opposite, over and done for the first map. We definitely saw it. We didn't see it coming, but it definitely was put upon us as Akatsuki is able to close down the first map against the favor of minions, as it was their map pick, on putting it their way for not only the first map win, but also they put themselves in match point winning series for this one as we go into the second map quite early on now after a short break. But before we had to a small break, we had a lot of grounds taken here. We had a lot of flaws by both teams presented. None of these teams did any given scenarios perfect. We had one nearly perfect attempt on the defense line by minions where they completely flawless out Akatsuki. But I would have to say the only given reason why it was a flawless in that matter is that Akatsuki was a little bit poorly positioning themselves, and also the entries of Akatsuki were not like planned out. They were not played as a unit, but they was played as 5 individuals. And if you know for yourself, if you play 5 individuals against one squad, you have no chance of entering the building without any given fights. And that way, you some sort of gave away that round, but every else round, especially from minions in the attacks, did not give any reasons for them to play shields that often, as they knew for a fact after round 1 and 2, shields are not working. We're been taken out. We're not having any plays with the shield, as we're not getting any access. And then we had the break problem in the defense, and we're always getting these frags against it in the first opening. We're not getting refrags, but if we're gaining some kills for ourselves, we're always getting refragged by the attackers. These are like the crucial points why minis were not able to close the map down for themselves and also not making it equal. That's the biggest
Yeah,
thing there. He
that's
never made it an equal.
no. Never. Definitely felt like it was definitely in Akatsuki's hands for a lot of that round. So those defenses, those attacks on minions, they kept trying the shields. It didn't really work for them. The only rounds they did win were the ones where they didn't bring the shields. As you say, Akatsuki, they realized the shields weren't working very quickly. Swapped over, changed something else. They changed their approach, and it worked out for them in the end. And that quick reading is exactly what's given them the advantage here in the series, stealing their opponent's map pick from them. As we're going to be heading to Skyscraper, 5-10 minutes or so. So we're just going to toss it to a quick little break, and we'll be back to with maps 2 number Skyscraper just a little bit.
Seconds remaining.
And well, we are back yet again with map number 2 coming in shortly for you guys. But first of all, I'm still Mighty, I'm still joined by Trev, and beforehand we go into the second map of Skyscraper, we have a few things to talk about. Yes, we saw another big upset, as we both, I would say, most likely considered Minions to take their map pick. To then say, okay, Akatsuki have a quite even scoreline for themselves speaking for the map of Skyscraper. I mentioned it before we had it into the very first game. Well, now Akatsuki have the potential of saying we will close down this matchup for good and gain ourselves the first win in Swiss and gain up the first ladder bit. But first of all, I would like to hear your takes on Skyscraper.
On Skyscraper itself, I mean, for me, I'm really looking to the half where minions are going to be on the attack. I think that's where this game is going to be decided. For me, I think minions, they've got two things they need to fix on their attack. First and foremost, they need to stop over peaking things, and I mean that's a whole game thing. I think for the minions, they did it on their defense as well as their attack. They get the advantage, and I think they get a bit excited, start going for more swinging over when they don't need to be. They get punished for doing so. Then the other thing they need to fix on their attacks is if it's not working, don't be afraid to switch it up. We saw it on previous map with the shields on Lair, their first half. They tried shields 4 of the 6 rounds. The 2 rounds where they didn't bring the shields were the rounds that they ended up winning. But they kept trying the shields regardless of that matter of fact, and as a result, it really cost them a lot of rounds. I think they probably could have gotten over the line there from Akatsuki. And as a result of that, I think that's where minions really need to try and put this focus going in towards map 2 to try and tie things out as well. Skyscraper, as we know, it can be a difficult one to attack Skyscraper. Infamously quite a defender-sided map and a very difficult battleground for attackers to overcome overall.
Yeah, especially as soon as you enter the building, you never know for fact when you enter the map where all these long angles at, and especially on a map like Skyscraper, these long angles are not only crucial, but they're more likely fatally dangerous. As we're going in to the map trailer on Skyscraper, and we're surely going into the ban phase, and I hopefully we see the first adaptations in the place of minions already in the ban phase. But of course, yet again, Akatsuki beginning in the attack will have the first banning moments. Well, let's ask you, Trev, what bans do you particularly see an opportunity for Skyscraper?
I see shields, if I'm being honest. Okay. That is not quite a shield. I don't think Thatcher was very high on my expectations of operator bans for this one, if I'm being honest. That kind of caught me off a little bit off guard there, seeing the Thatcher come through. That's one we've not had banned yet here in Swiss stage for Season X. Bit of an interesting one.
Very interesting one, but finally we got the shield on the board. We didn't mention him on the very first map, but Blackbeard is definitely an understandable pick to ban for the team of minions. Minions have banned it out for like more than 10% of the matches. They have played a lot of matches in their historical. So, but for this season in particular, we're already looking at a percentage rate of over 30% in the ban rate. Like also, Clash is one of the most banned defenders in their entire map pool. They've banned it out 10 times now out of given 30 matches, so it's a very high quota there as well for these.
100%. So Clash as well, banned in the previous map. Mirror is going to be taken out. It was something that minions, if I remember correctly, didn't use too massively on the previous map. It was more Akatsuki that were quite happy to play around that Mirror. So definitely a bit of an interesting man, but not a surprising one nonetheless. It's one that we do see a lot. What I'm going to be looking though to is those attacks. Akatsuki, they're going to be trying the shields again. Now, neither team really were able to make them work during the previous map, so curious to see whether things might change here over on Skyscraper. And for the defense, well, going to be locking in the dock pick, which, as we said, A lot of aggressive potential on the dock as well, and quite a trap-heavy lineup as well. Both the Fenrir and the Legion being brought, both really strong trap operators. One's really great at dealing with shield, one's really great at locking down those sort of longer angles, restricting sightlines for the attackers. And I see a sick pick on towards the Sense.
Okay. First of all, I have to correct.
Go for
I'm
it.
sorry to do so, but the team that was putting on a lot of pressure with Mira was indeed Minions.
Was
So
it the other way
ban
around?
was okay and very much understandable, especially for a map like Skyscraper. When you take a look in particular back into these display and also office side, you have a lot of teams playing these mirrors going towards both Dragon on also Shrine, but also one going indeed looking into Terrace. So that these are two very impactful mirrors that is so that banned out of the strat books. But another big thing here is if you look at the team lineup for Team Minions, we have a change. The guy that definitely didn't feel himself and also was a lot of over peaking, trying to maybe like capitalize or maybe adapt himself in the playset, was Shay. And Shay is now dealt out for Spen. Spen that way is into the roster with the dog, and we have their first aggressive approach as David gains the first opening frag against Nexo, and that is not only huge for the opener, but it's definitely one of the necessary ones to hold that focus, hold that mentality up and shining for yourself to gain and look more whole.
Located by attackers.
Exactly. So, I mean, Minions, really great opening pick from them. They will take out the ESA, and so early on into the round doing so, all of that utility she brings along with her, those Talon shields, those frag grenades, they're going to be going in her pocket with her. Oh, those frag grenades? No, not frag grenades. Bring something else with her. Either way, they're going down to the grave with her. Speaking of grave, though, Ishak is going to be getting a pick on towards Jackie, but it is traded back out by Norvi, who does keep things in the advantage of MG Minions. And this is where I think Minions, they need to be able to hold their composure. This is where we saw they had the man advantage, and it kind of slipped away from them in the previous round. Though Spen, great opener to the series for them, going to be getting a pick on towards Hypesy and leaving Akatsuki in a 2 versus 4 position.
And it's a very important first round, especially Spen immediately in the game, immediately finds himself a first opening pick. Yet again, the aggression is not lacking a bit, nor he finds the next kill to Shinji, making Bankus the final and last man standing for Team Akatsuki. Very low on HP. Can't really much do anything with his blowing torches as he's tried to figure out some entries. Steps into the goo mine, gets stepped out, and also Cole queued out for the stepping into the goo mine, then spotted out by the Kate, and then also reckoned with and also flawed out. So in that case, we directly saw the match and also the spotline played out of office and display. And as we saw, Minions definitely didn't need to have a mirror on the board. So an understandable ban, but a ban that did not have any impact as we saw of this very first round.
No, not at all. No impact really from that ban. Minions, that's exactly what I think they needed. Coming off the back of losing their own map pick, they needed to try. They need to get things rolling early on here. You know, you want to see. I think the 1-0 is a great start for them, but you want to really be ideally seeing that 2-0 lead. You want to see them really starting to get away ahead of things and start to have that confidence back, because you know it can be difficult. You've just lost your own map pick. You now got to come into the second map, your opponent's map pick, somewhere that they've chosen specifically to bring you towards, and you've got to make sure that you're not going to let them defeat it and not let Akatsuki continue the momentum that they sort of started there in Lair. So great start for the Minions. Really great attempt at doing so. As we head towards round number 2 here, Akatsuki seemingly going to be attempting the shield yet again. I mean, it didn't really get much of an impact in the previous round. I think that's more though just losing those picks earlier on. That really aggressive spawn kill almost started around. That unfortunately, so you can't really do much from that position. Minions got a great man advantage early on in the previous round, and I've got a feeling that's exactly what they're going to be looking to do here again, round number 2.
Well, like to keep a mention. Yes, Skyscraper is a very heavy utility map. It's a very highly picked map for defender composure and also for defender like having the best opportunity of closing that map out. I think we both agree on that on this map you win the map on the defense. So it also means that the challenge Minion is facing on gaining back and also now winning out the map of their opponents to make it equal and pushing it to the decider does mean we have to win a lot of rounds in defense. They've won the first now, but the big challenge first starts here. I have to say, if we don't see a 5-1 first half. Yes, a 5-1. It would be a clear half, but doesn't mean anything on a map like Skyscraper. I've never seen a map before that has had so many comebacks as Skyscraper. Let it be 5-1 to a 5-5 comeback, or 6-0 to a 6-6. Doesn't make any difference. But before we see that, we have some tech issues, so we will head into a little technical break. We will have to go for a rehost. So I will say, spread on the toilet, go on the loo, pick up some snacks on your way back to the office. So, well, hello, we're back. I would say yet again, now finally in round number 2, after a short but very necessary technical rehost. We're back in lobby with 5 against 5. Minions still up in 1-0 lead. Nothing happened so far. And we're back in the prep phase. We yapped a little bit on the first round in the background, didn't we, Trev? And what
have a little bit of a yap. Happened in our eyes. It's just this case of messiness, I think, a little bit is the way we were kind of describing it from both these teams in this eye of sort of. It's about making mistakes, because there are mistakes, but I think it's fair assessment. Mistakes being made on both sides here. In this matchup, through most of Lair, there were mistakes being made. It's the question of, A, who is punishing those mistakes, how big these mistakes are, and, as I say, who's really able to capitalise from these mistakes. I think that was a lot of our discussion and assessment of these teams, and as we head towards Skyscraper as well, we look towards this first half here. Minions, we were saying, they need to get a 5-1 half here. Their attacks in Lair were a little bit shaky. There's a bit of an understatement, maybe. They're a bit shaky, those attacks. They need to make sure their defense half here is immaculate on Skyscraper. 5-1 or better. Otherwise, you might have a bit of concern going into the second half.
Yeah. And yet another big point is, as you mentioned before we had it into the map, Akatsuki showed perfectly what we're mentioning now. They picked the like operator said, okay, they're not functioning, we're swapping away and trying to find alternatives. Adjusting a little bit on our playstyle. Minions have to do the same thing, both in defense and also in their attacks. But now let's focus back on the game. Spen is the first one to fall in this second round, making that big opening opportunity for Akatsuki, as they have the 5 against 4 opportunity in their favor. And also, like, the pressure coming in by Akatsuki is horrendous, all the way from both balcony entrances and also these back stairs going in forwards to Karaoke. And now we see where the first approach is coming from, and also the re-roam is in. And Bankus is the next one to find himself some feeds onto the name of David.
And here comes a bit of a push here from the attacking side. Shinji, though, critically down on the shield, but here come the RAU projectors. Here comes that sense that this attack is built around. It seems to be working out there. Flawless for the side of Akatsuki. And really, before we can get a second word in, they get exploded with 3 kills, find themselves the round truly dominant. And we were just saying how Minions, they need that 5-1 half here if they really want to continue to look competitive and sort of not worry too much about that second half. And they've just lost that lifeline very, very early on.
And the way they lost it, I'm speechless. Like, you have a full common attack by Akatsuki that is completely alternativeless. There's like no given grounds. Okay, we've completely entered on top of the back stairs alongside the balcony door. We had 3 C4s in pocket by Akatsuki. And we're not putting one. Okay, I have to correct. We had 2. We had 3. We didn't have 3. We had 2. But none of these were thrown towards the door to then close out both of Monty with a lot of HP and potentially getting at least 1, maybe 2, and also possibly 3 kills with it. Was one single C4.
That's it. Akatsuki, they put all their cards in that one basket, did they? Put all the eggs in the basket. And Minions probably should have been able to read into that, realise that's the one route you've taken into this round. That's you've got no alternative here. Like, this is the only attack. They're putting all their eggs in this basket. We should respond with this. Instead, you see defenders falling back and then immediately trying to push back in towards the objective. And the response from Minions was very discoordinated, not at all sort of playing, I'd say, that one together towards the end of that. And then, as you saw, Akatsuki, 3 quick kills at the end, bam, 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 rounds over. flawless fashion there for them on their second attack.
Second attack over and done. The first interactions are going through as Nexo is the first one to get some bullets and also some explosives thrown against him. And that also concludes him taking a lot of damage. We're trying to steal our ways in the names of Akatsuki and figuring out ways to put on pressure, also dealing some damage. Not found any targets so far. But finally, intensely, we see the split up happening on minions. We also see, okay, we're having to push more onto the approach of Akatsuki. We have to position us in potential matters of saying, okay, you're not putting down claymores on this window of shrine, so we can outjump you. You have to always have an open eye on that window and have a sound back onto that window, because we could potentially jump out and also flank you from that area, making it a little bit harder and very much more uncomfortable jump in and also walk in from the balcony. But still, the balcony entry has happened. Now we have to see and wait if we gain ourselves the first entry. And Hype is the first one to find the kill. They also directly follow with the double kill on Duspen. And this is too easy. It is too easy the way how these rounds open for Akatsuki. And Minis are still not finding grounds of refragging those.
Exactly, nothing really back into the round for minions right now, and Akatsuki, they're going to try exactly what they tried before, but here comes the X-Factor on the flank, here comes David, but no, he's shut down! And it's now a 2 versus 5 for the minions. Jackie and Northy, all that remain. The Monte, they're going to take a hell of a load of damage, and the 2 remaining defenders, they find one apiece. This round's a bit up in the air here, but the defenders, it's now all left for Northy. Try and get his team's way back in this one. All of the attackers, they're on a sliver of HP. Maybe able to close this one out. Does find one, but no more than that, unfortunately. Akatsuki, it's a little bit messier than it was before, but they're still able to get it over the line. And they take the advantage on an attacking half in Skyscraper.
And I'm worried. I'm definitely worried for minions, as the most ineffective way of how you play against a team as Akatsuki that brings a lot of pressure but no passive. You're passively waiting for a Mexican standoff. And you know for a fact, if you're passively standing out and waiting for a Mexican standoff, the player with the highest mechanical skill and the better reaction time will win it out. You know for a fact, you saw it on the map of Lair. You're not any of your team members of Minis is in the capital to have that opportunity speaking and screaming his name. It will always speak the name of key players of Akatsuki. We saw it from Haitsi, we saw it from Bankus, we saw it from Shinji, and we definitely saw it from Ishak on the last map. So why Minis is keeping on playing these Mexican passive standoff matters is not making any sense to me.
Need to respond with some aggression here. Seeing an operator lineup, perhaps a bit more indicative of that. Doc, of course, phenomenal fragging operator, as we've said a few times now. But they need to really respond with some aggression. They need to do what they did in that first round a little while ago now. But they need to do what they did. They just need to get a really early opening pick, possibly a second one as well. And they need to get away with that without allowing Akatsuki to get a response in, because that's the other key factor. Sure, minions get the opening pick, but if Akatsuki can formulate a decent response, trade it back, they'll often take that inch, they'll take that trade, and they normally, as this matchup has gone, they'll take a little bit more with it. You see here, player there on the dock, that's going to be spent. Eyeing up a very aggressive angle in Geisha, could have no choice there, really about to fall back quite early on. As the opening pick, it's not going to be coming in yet, 40 seconds in towards the round, as the attackers, they're starting to eye up, they're starting to make their entry in towards the building. Still sticking to the shields on the side of Akatsuki. I mean, it's been working with him so far. He's a bit of vertical play from underneath. He's going to do a lot of damage there. Does actually get the down. And as well, Hypesy just storms in, confirms it, and finds another for his troubles. Makes it a third on the round. Looking for another one. Going to have to fall back. And the defense, it's just getting picked apart here. They try and do an extended hold over towards Geisha's side, and it's just not working out. David, all that is left standing now, but not for long. Akatsuki, they're blitzing their way through this one. And that worry you said about a minute ago, Mighty, starting to really feel that one now too, as we head towards the penultimate round and a half, and things are not looking good for minions.
It's not looking good for minions, and I have to say the way it is. I'm still on the standing capital of saying 5-1 was the standing that minions needed to have a slight chance of closing this map out. Now we have a 3-1 against them, Akatsuki is not having troubles either to enter the building, neither to pass on through the building, and yet still nothing forcing against them to push towards onto the side and do a take to the side. On a map
100%.
like Skyscraper, where I mentioned before we went into the map,
Attackers have discovered the
like
location
you
of a
never
bomb.
know when you're entering where the first angles are, long angles, where interaction will happen against you from the defense. In 4 rounds, I've not seen a single long angle being played by minions. I've not seen a single interaction to block off or immediately put pressure on
10
entries
seconds left.
into the building by Akatsuki. Minions is just letting them play freely,
5 seconds to go.
just how they want, whenever they want, and in the manner they want. And I'm saying this as I'm convinced that Minions is not feeling themselves. They will not have a slight chance to win up. There are too many flaws, there's no clear visuals, and you're playing a map of Skyscraper the way how you're not supposed to play Skyscraper. That's the root. This here is the map where you can see how you're not supposed to play things. So for the dearest coach and analyst of Minions, you have a lot of work for the map of Skyscraper.
100%. So, Akatsuki, they've really been in control for most of this half. They've been seeing the mistakes on the side of Minions, and to their credit, they have been taking advantage. I mean, it would be difficult really not to, but they've been doing such a great job of being able to make things work here. As the aggression from Akatsuki is seemingly just continuing to ramp up here. Montaigne spearheading this, making a quick work of this top floor here, pushing on towards sort of karaoke Geisha positions here. Defense are looking to try and hold it, but this hasn't proved well. Akatsuki have punished this in the last couple previous rounds. The defense have been trying to get their way either out or down, and, well, punishment reversed. Spen gets the opening pick for the round, first time in a little while. It goes the way of the Minions.
Attackers drop the diffuser.
And as well, Nexo's going to fall, but it is traded back. But the Minions, they remain themselves in advantage. A double for Inter. And Ishak managed to sneak his way in towards the objective, but the shield taken down out of the equation now from inside the objective. Don't have the diffuser. You're going to have to make some magic happen here. Do find one on towards the round, but halfway still to go. Plenty of time for the defenders to just wait it out, and surely the Minions don't throw this one away.
And if they shall throw this round away as well, there's no ground for them to say that we deserve to win this matchup. But still, they find themselves another closing round. It's definitely coming later than sooner. And we have to say, at least it still happened. There's still hope. But I have to say, I'm not convinced. I'm still by far away of being convinced. And I have to say, they definitely need the 3-on-3 roll swap. They need to win out round number 6. And if they struggle in round number 6, we go in here for a 4-2 roll swap, this will be a very quick overrun. Because I've seen these guys play defense, and you'll struggle because they will make you feel
Defenders,
uncomfortable
protect your bombs
wherever
from
you
being
want to
defused by
enter
attackers.
and wherever you want to approach from and conclude further on towards the side. So by the matter how Minions is playing, that they're playing a little bit slower, a little bit more passive, and also doing like these mechanics, like peek me and I will try to kill you. If Akatsuki brings on the same pace and also the same aggression as they have quietly on the map, like a Skyscraper, in the matter of, okay, we will push you and we will force you to feel uncomfortable in this building because this building is ours to defend. Minions will not only strive against one wall, they will have to force and play against 5 walls running around this map like crazy.
Exactly so, and to look towards the objective, T Karaoke is going to be the objective of choice for round number 6, the final round of the half. The Minions, of course, choosing the objective. Now, T Karaoke has been played twice so far in this matchup. The first time, it was flawless going the way of Akatsuki. Second time, it wasn't quite as decisive, but it still went the way of the attack. So Minions unable to find any success in this objective so far. They're going to be giving it a third shot. Perhaps third time is the charm. Akatsuki seemingly going to be trying a bit of a different strategy to what we've seen previously on this objective, was that sort of sense back stairs kind of push strategy that we've seen from them quite a few times on this objective. Both times it has been brought out instead. Really, really aggressive angle here from Inter. Going to hear the player on the drone. He's going to be able to catch one for it, but the opening pick did go the other way. Jackie falls, but Spen's keeping Minions competitive in this. gets a pick. But yet again, 3 versus 3. The early aggression is just as successful as it is punished. Minions, they've gotten 2 picks, great, but you've also lost 2 men in the process, which is quite costly. And Akatsuki, well, short, you've lost to Grim, which is a massive part of that sort of end-round execute utility. You've still got the shield on the board, and you've still got 2 really great assault rifles, both in the M4 and the AK-12.
Yet again, another big lacking point here by Minutes is like the opportunity of looking in perspectives of gaining yourself some, I would say, advantages. Not having advantages, and either when you have advantages, not making them work out for you is a big thing. Now, finally, adaptations that we have screamed for by Minions are being brought. Yet again, what is another big, huge encounter? Also countering shields, Elemines. And we saw how impactful Elemines have gotten in place against shields. But now, once again, you're spotting out, you're doing Mexican stand-up passive positions. And for a fact known, Akatsuki knows where these Mexican passive positions are. And are just pre-firing. And by this pre-fire, Span lost over 30% of his health bar, making it equal with Nexus. And Nexus didn't get dealt a single bullet. That is what's so dangerous about being so passive, because good players, like the players of Akatsuki, will know for a fact where these passive positions are at, and they will pre-fire them.
Yeah, they smell the fear, I think, almost at this point. I mean, it is 2 versus 2, but there's still 45 seconds, decent amount of time for the attackers to work with. And as you said, you're playing these Mexican standoff positions. Nexo is going to take the drone out, going to take an opportunity to try and find the player. However, a sprint across, there you go. Spen lighting up when needed most. Now puts Nexo into this quite uncomfortable 1 versus 2 position. The position of David is known. Spen as well gives the game away. So surely this one doesn't go the way of Akatsuki, but just as I say that, it's turned into a 1 versus 1 now. And I'm not feeling too comfortable at this one. David does have the C4 in pocket, but it's going to have to be a very long angle, long arm throw. He does have it, sees the player, but no! Nexo's good for it, and Akatsuki, they get around that. Realistically, they had no right winning. But Minions, mistake after mistake, and it's just punished. It's capitalized upon, and Akatsuki walk away with something we don't see every day, which is a 4-2 half going their way on the attack on Skyscraper.
There are multiple things that we always tell our players. Like, I'm an org owner. I have done analyst work. I've done coaching work for academies. The first thing you teach players are when we have an opportunity where we have scenarios given to us where we have like the upper hand, or maybe we have an advantage point like this. You have a 2-on-1. He will try and move towards you. You know for a fact that he is forcing one in the hallway. You're outside on the split breach, half a meter away from the drum door. If you just peek drum door, you have a clear visual on Nexo moving in towards Geisha, looking into Karaoke. You can just withhold that angle on the passive and also give some pre-firing when you think that he will swing you. But being passive on double wall and just waiting where he will roam, then also meet him mid-face up, not having direction time to put on bullets or either IDS. It's completely outselling your teammate. You're throwing away a good opportunity where you had the advantage. And yet again, you're not making it work out for you. Minutes definitely having a lot of difficulties finding advantages and then using those advantages to their advantage.
Exactly so. Really struggling to capitalise off of anything there, really, in Minions on that latter half. And for that round, I'd say a lot of it, for a lot of that round, the man count wasn't in their favour. Realistically, if it was, they should have gotten away with that one. But unfortunately, it was not the case for them. They're going to now find themselves going into the second half. And if they want to get this into overtime, they're going to have to win 4 attacks, which is a massive ask on its own. If they want it in regulation, they're going to have to have 5, which might just, dare I say, be slightly impossible to bring upon them at this point. They're going to have to get 4 attacks off their 6. And, well, Spen does find an early pick on towards Banquez. It's going to be a great start for the side of Minions, but yet again, they're going to need to find a way to capitalise from this position. You've got a good start to the round now. And not only that, Dokumi is on the board, meaning now that player's dropped on the roam, you can hack the defender cameras and start using them against them. All the bulletproof cameras, all the default cameras. Well as that logic bomb coming in now. Minute 45 left on the clock, so still plenty of time for the attack to work with. But for Minions, I think they're going to want another pick where I can start to say they're going to be comfortable and guaranteed to take this round. Keep heading on through. Halfway through now. Another spray through going on from Ishak. Does a little bit of damage on towards David, but not enough to confirm the kill. Rotero drone, no choice there. Mute forced out of position. Say, clock's ticking away. Attackers slowly progressing towards Akatsuki, but they're more than happily to play into the hands. They're more than happy to let the attackers sort of take this round, push towards. And here comes the second logic bomb. Defenders, their positions will be heard for the time being. Minute left on the clock. See what happens.
Well, yet again, it's the point that I was talking on multiple times in the first half for minions. As soon as the entering comes by the attackers, you're putting pressure on them as the defenders. You're not making them feel comfortable on their entries. You're not making them feel comfortable on their approach towards the site. Yet again, Minions is playing a passive, waiting for the interactions to come, and they're getting outfragged. Now finally back in an advantage point, gain themselves another huge opportunity in the attack, and they should begin of ticking off, gaining advantages, and also pushing beyond the limitations tried early on, not leaving the eyes away from where the potential flanks could come from. And Ishak is there to close and save the day yet again, and gets the help now from Nexo. Nexo makes it a 2-1 advantage yet again for Team Akatsuki, and they close it down with a beautiful clutch. Once again, Minions with a nice approach forwards, getting too passive, getting fragged out, making it equal, gains themselves another advantage to then throw it away. I don't want to brag in the negatives for Minions. I like these guys. I have seen so many good matches by them, but they're definitely underperforming for themselves. And this underperformance is the worst I've seen for a long time. And the thing is here, they're missing out on the basics of Team Siege. You know for a fact, there's a door and there's also a headline. I can't only concentrate myself on headline if I have potentially the witness of someone not holding me from the door. I'll get swinged by the door. Then I get swung by the door. I get a refrag from my teammate. My teammate is concentrating on the door to yet get another refrag from the opponent because there's no one holding the breach anymore. Just this aggressive interaction searching by Akatsuki and the blind eyes by Minions are in the numbers that we have seen so far, not only on Lair but now also on Skyscraper, are horrendous.
Yeah, I mean, yet another round that just really shouldn't be going the way of Akatsuki. Like, there's so many positions here throughout this last couple of rounds, throughout this map, throughout Lair, where Minions, on paper, should be in the driving seat. They should be able to close out the round, and it's again where I think we almost start to not place that seed of doubt. They really have, if they get the opening pick, great, but that doesn't really seem to be helping a massive amount. It still seems to get converted back the other way around. And, you know, maybe it's, I don't know whether it's communication or just, as you say, perhaps the fundamentals of sort of playing around each other. So, as you say, it could well be a bit of a communication problem, a bit disjointed on certain aspects here. But Sven, very early on, trying to make an entry in towards the restaurant, going to be challenged, caught behind the table. Question is, do they continue to go through that way, or do they instead opt to rotate, try something elsewhere? Seems like that might be the case. You want to keep that striker alive, going later on into the round. You've got the frag grenades, you've got the stun grenades, really valuable pieces of utility that you're going to be needing to get this round over the line. But here, Akatsuki continuing to play really, really aggressive. C4 is going to be thrown, caught on the edge of the reinforced wall, not going to be able to catch its mark on towards any of the attackers, but we're a minute into the round now, and all bar Northy, they're outside for the time being. Only there, just as I say that, Jackie's made his way into hallway, so they're getting in towards the building now, but Minions, it's definitely a little bit on the slower side, I think. Here we go, opening pick. It's going to be going the way of the Minions yet again. Norby shuts down Nexo, sees the second player, sees Ishak playing this long angle, exactly what we want to see on Skyscraper. Long angle plays with a visual, but here comes Bankers with the smoke, SMG-11 ready to support, and you can see there as well, Hypesy. The response from Akatsuki here is really, really great. They're moving around, they're playing in this position where they're reacting to the way that Minions want to play. They're trying to box the attack in. And you can see this push through karaoke, this push through T is really, real difficult, and it's now being punished. Hypesy finds a pick on towards David. Things are leveled out back 4-4, and you've still got plenty of defenders over on this side of the building. Akatsuki looking good in this round.
I having struggles watching this match. I'm in pain severe times as no, I can't understand. I can't figure out what's happening here.
It's chaos here on Skyscraper. If we thought Lair was a bit chaotic, Skyscraper's worse over. And here comes Tad forgetting around. Isha gets a pick on towards Spen. Surely we don't see yet another clutch. Surely not. Inter coming in on the flank, on the behind. But Diffuser is in no man's land. All Ishak needs to do is hide. Sure, the yellow ping is out, but time is against the attackers here. Akatsuki, they want this match in series point. You knew where he was! Why aren't you looking? And Akatsuki, they get themselves up onto match in series point. One round of the next 4 is all they will need to take Skyscraper over the line and the series with it.
Okay, I'll do a formal statement of saying I'm sorry if this cast goes in the books of Minions as shit talking them.
No.
It's not the thing that I want to do, but if you take a close look on what you're delivering, you have, unfortunately, to agree with what I'm saying. I'm not trash talking because I don't like you guys, you know that for a fact. But yet again, you have a 3-on-1 advantage scenario in the attack. And you're approaching the one defender remaining from 3 different angles. You have no team communication. You have no team pushing towards and putting pressure on that guy. Meanwhile, you're giving in 3 one-on-ones, one after another, and you cannot even push enough force on him of saying he will run out of bullets. You give him like 3 or 5 seconds in between each and every single interaction, making him reload both of his weapons in the need, re-roaming, and then also he is whipping the first swing onto you. You know for a fact where he is at, and then you have not the ego of saying, okay, I will look in the direction and even begin to pre-fire. No, yet again, you find a way of throwing away a huge advantage. The lacking points of Minions in this matchup is definitely a long list with a lot of work they need to put in. Because, I'm saying this, they will not find a way of going to overtime. There's no way they will go to overtime in this match. They might find another round or two because they're good at finding advantages and also putting pressure on the defense. But yet again, the ways and also the outcomes, how they lose out the rounds with the advantages, are definitely the worst part about the matchup. Minions have a lot of work ahead of them, especially when it's about the execution.
100%. To be credit to them, for Minions, they've been finding the opening pick in a lot of these rounds. I believe most of these last few rounds, they have actually been the ones to engage and get that opening pick. And for a few of them, it's actually been fairly uncontested. You get the opening pick, and it takes Akatsuki a couple of seconds to formulate a response. But the issue is, consistently, you're allowing them to formulate that response. You're allowing that opening pick, that advantage you get to start the round with, to sort of slip away from you. And the last thing, as we say, the last thing we want to do is talk down on a team. We want to highlight these players are great. I was talking to both Max yesterday. Minions looking quite good at the minute. We were both saying to each other, you know, quite optimistic about them for this one. But unfortunately, it's really not been the case here. But perhaps staring down at that map point, maybe what they needed. They have themselves now yet another 1 versus 3, 3v1 position for them. Shinji is all that is left standing. They know where the player is. They do give him 1, and surely not a second time in a run-in. Minute left on the clock, plenty of time for the attackers to sort of be working through this one, to try and get themselves this round over the line. The remaining 2 players in Minions, Norvi and David, they need to pause, they need to work out where this player is, and they need to push him together. You give him 2 1 versus 1s. Akatsuki, I think they'll be more than comfortable at this point to take these individual gunfights. Iron up to the fuse now, but you have to make that push. You're going to give him 1, you're going to see 1, but the yellow ping on the second player outside towards bar, it is known. The drone is taken out though. Now here goes the intel. Flashbang, it's not going to be successful. Kit's going down, 30 seconds left on the clock. Shinji, really, really low HP. You're going to have some magic to get this one across the board. There you go. Kit's down, but it's given yet another 1. And Norvi, all that is left standing for Minions, has to win this gunfight. Luckily though, able to get outside and can play this really powerful close plant position. Has to be Shinji gonna be going for the long angle run out. Is he aware? Yes, he sees the player, and he's still gonna decide to hop in. A little bit of ring-a-rang-a-rosies around the objective here, but all that
Defenders
Norvi
have
needs to
eyes
do
on the diffuser.
just
Attackers
remain
need to
time, just
protect it.
keep wasting time. Minions so close. You're maybe 10 seconds away from winning this one. Just don't let Shinji bait you into it, and that's exactly what he's not gonna let happen. Minions, when it's needed most, they're getting the round over the line. They have done it. They're alive here on Skyscraper for at least a little bit longer. Shinji does confirm the kill, but matters naught. The round is over. MG Minions, they get themselves their first defensive round.
I have to say, yes, another round on the boards of Minions. But still, yet to get another round where
This
they
was disgusting.
had more than not the problems of putting the diffuser down. But still, we're now having a beautiful entry concluded with gaining a huge advantage, then going onto the side as a team. You have two guys potentially in the matter of saying, okay, put the diffuser down. If he's close, we can play that. Okay, he will get one frag, I will refrag you. You bait one, refrag. Run over and done. No, we're saying, okay, you put the diffuser down, I will go swinging meanwhile. Yet again, you split up. These split ups by minions are not the way to go. As we see, Akatsuki is still in the matter of saying, you're able to clutch out. We can, if you give us and grant us these one-on-ones, we will,
10
might,
seconds left before insertion.
near every time, go out on top on these gunfights. Minions are making it hard for themselves. They have the opportunities, but still, they're overpeaking. They're being a little bit too aggressive when they are definitely not in the need to. They have the kit in hand. They are on site. They can plant the kit and they can jump out. Luckily for that kill was that Alex had the passion and also like the compassion of saying, I can calm down the scenario, saying I will jump out. And then also I'm slipping away from the interaction that Shinji wants to go into with the Captain, of saying I will sit back on site, jump on the tail and wait. If he's really trying to defuse, I'll try and lure him away, blocking off the defuse lane, and just play it passive, because he won't have enough time forcing a kill against me, and then also defuse. Very smartly played by Minions. I would say the adaptation, also the way of how better they played that round in the approach was awesome. It was a complete switch around. That was the Minions that we know. Gain intel, and smart moves in, and smart like plays how to do it and wrap it around. Still though, they execute, not convinced.
No. And they're now going to have to play this one for the first time in quite a few rounds. Man advantage actually is going to be going the way of Akatsuki. They're going to be finding the opening pick onto that one. David, the Maverick, is going to be falling. Fortunately, a little bit of a quiet game so far for him. Minions, they're going to need to find a way to answer back in towards this one here. Of course, you've already lost a player. You are on office side, so you've still got most of the top floor to take. And you've only got half of the round left to do so. They are playing this cautiously, but in that talking that previous round a little bit more, that composure from Alex at the end of that shows why he's been on this roster he's been on this roster ages now, team captain, I believe. He shows the composure during that situation to get it over the line. Played that well at the end of the day. They got the round that they need to do so. It is still a long road. 3 rounds required from the Minions on the attack of Skyscraper. It is difficult to come back from this position, but I like to be positive. So if we see another round, I might get on the hype train and start to think now it might just be a little bit possible. But first and foremost, Minions, they're going to need to work them out this man disadvantage here. 45 seconds on the clock for them to try and get their way into the objective, try and get this one done and over the line. They've got a 1 player below, 3 players going for that horizontal push, but no, it's another one to fall. Hype sees second in the round, trying to pick on towards Sven. Another one falls, and there you go. It's all fallen down now. Minions into all that is remaining in a 1 versus 4 position. 30 seconds on the clock. The entire might of Akatsuki chasing him down. Caught reloaded, does down one. But it's going to be caught out from the player behind. Hypesy closes it out. Akatsuki, they close it out in a dominant 2-0 fashion. Yet another upset happening here in Season 10 of the ESA League. And, well, I just don't think anyone saw that game going quite the way that it did.
So, still we have said, another upset done and over, and I mentioned it already in the production chat while we were casting. I'm having a complete deja vu continuing from the SI, where we had so many upsets with so many lacking points, with so many lacking plays that we're not familiar with in like the pro comp scene. There are so many lacking points with very well resumed teams, very quite well known teams, are doing simple things and failing them. Like the simple brickstones of Siege, of team played Siege. We saw a lot of them in the matters of team minions today. They have a lot of to work upon. It isn't, don't get me wrong, they aren't a bad team. They're a very good team. Don't get me wrong, MG Akatsuki is also a very capable, good team as they were winning out today. But from the process that we saw from the qualifiers, we casters always have to look into what's happening besides the matchup we are seeing today. How did they perform in qualifiers, especially for this tournament? How have they played in other leagues? In other leagues, Akatsuki has played very well. It's a very good team. They have players very well known in the community that we have casted before in other teams. On the other hand, we also know what the minions is very capable of, and I'm a little bit saddened to see that they couldn't bring this skill set up on the table and like show up for themselves. They had a lot of lacking points and they pretty much struggled. So I hope for themselves they will have the time now to focus back on the VOD and say this and that are things that we definitely crucially have to work upon to gain ourselves a better approach and also be better schedule up and then set up right for the next upcoming weeks.
Yeah, 100% so. And speaking of the coming weeks that are going to be coming ahead, let's take a quick look at the bracket of how things stand up after that, our fourth match here in the Swiss stage. We're going to be halfway through to 0-0. Some of our teams, they're making their way to the top half of the bracket. Akatsuki will be joining, will be now going in a matchup next week. Not next week, in a couple of weeks against Ghost Army. Then down towards the bottom of the bracket now, Minions will find themselves. They have lost one of those lifelines, but it's not over just yet. As you say, Mighty, those mistakes made today. We're still early on. There's plenty of time to rectify those. And there were some flashes today of brilliance and some good team play. Maybe not the team play, but the individual play was there. The opening picks were there. They have the opportunity to bring this one back, and I wouldn't count them out just yet, by no means. Definitely still could see them making deep run towards the end of Swiss stage here. I mean, what's your takes on the bracket so far?
In general, we have seen teams drop down into the 0-1 bracket that shouldn't be there in any given case it takes, but let's be honest. We have had 4 qualifiers with only 16 teams making the cut and going through into the Swiss stage. And if I remember you back on all the way to season 7, 8, 9, and 10, the teams that competed the furthest in the final playoffs going into the final week with the teams that had like the beginnings of going 0-1, 0-2, and then starting their run up and then gaining themselves the first victories, going 1-2, 2-2, and making the qualified of 3-2. So nothing is impossible. These teams are not bad. There's no teams here that are so much better than the others. But it is like the first week after qualifiers, many teams have taken their time of like rescheduling things, adjusting things in their strat books, and maybe trying to figure out new ways of going to. Alongside, we have had a lot of roster changes from the qualifiers that we have to take in perspective. A lot of new players fixing new positions. And other things very important are these team players always have to adapt upon. When we get new players in, we adapt the new roles in our rosters. We have to change around a little bit. That way, we change a lot of the play style. And the matters of saying, if we take a look onto the Minions roster, there have been a lot of roster changes there. So I think from the perspective that we saw, a lot of the things they might have in storage and might planned out for themselves in the strat did not work out because they don't have played in that roster type that many ways. Like we saw a Shay completely falling off the roster, not quite finding his position, not fitting in well. So by these teams to go 0-1, nothing is over. They have still 2 more lives before they're eliminated. They have to lose 2 more matches, and the way they will go are very long. So there's a lot of time for them to figure out what we're doing wrong, what can we do better, adapt upon those, and figure out ways of get on the winning line of things. There's nothing over. There's nothing still to be taken for granted, though, as today as they will have to face the loss. The team of Akatsuki has to take the GG well played, going up in the 1-0 bracket alongside with the other winning teams from the previous days. But okay, we've talked yet enough about the bracket. We still have a lot of play days to continue.
Oh.
But this was it for the first week of ESA Cup. We have the next match on February the 24th. That's on Monday, same time here. Stay on the ESA Cup channel, and there we will see no offense against Team Cook.
Yeah, team offense versus Cook. I mean, that one hopefully going to be a bit of better. I was just looking at the predictions in between the maps, and this one's a little bit closer to 50-50. So, got a feeling this was going to be quite spicy. There's no one in the favourite seat, at least going for predictions at the minute. And so far, I mean, this week we've gone from 14 nils to 2 upsets very much later on in this week. Anything can really happen at this point, and sure, it's still early days. No one's being fully going all the way through to playoffs at this point. No one's been eliminated at this point. But there is so much that can still happen. And regardless, I think, of how next week goes, it's going to be spicy. It's going to be exciting. And yeah, I'm pumped for it personally.
Yeah, I'm pumped. I'm hyped for it. And I have to say, we saw many upsets also in season 7, 8, 9, with teams going directly down one in the bracket that we definitely expect of going into the first winning team brackets. Did not happen, but these teams then showed up for themselves. Like, we have had major upsets, like, for example, the team that won out season 9, Team Molotov game. To have it to say to you all that weren't a part of season 9, MVG won the grand final with a slacking 3-0 complete overrun, and they were not even qualified in the beginning for the Swiss stage. They only slipped through and slipped in the season of 9 because we had teams that said we don't want to compete, we had to disband, or we did not deliver a lineup in time. And yet that meant for them, we went in the Swiss stage as a team that did not play it in from the qualifiers, and then they won it out. So every path in this stage, in this Swiss system, is possible of gaining your ticket into the playoffs, into the finals,
Exactly.
and from there it could go any way. But with
Exactly.
these closing words, I would say we will go to bed, and I would say we see each other back again on
Yeah.
Monday, hopefully, when it's time for ESA Week 2.
Yeah. Take care, everyone.
10 seconds.